We did it. We did it.
Yeah, we were on point today, and that was my little Trump dance there, guys. This is going to be a stream. This is
Anger.
Danny.
Of
Dandelion says
anger.
you're right, Roberto. He says it's gonna be Dandelion says it's gonna be Violet one, and she is absolutely 100% correct. It is going to be a Violet one.
Volatile.
Volatile. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you for
Oh shit,
correcting
that's
me
what
on that
Nerd
one.
Man looks like.
Bald-headed bastard. That's what he looks like.
Does it look like a
You
black
know?
Kermit?
How's
Does it look
that?
like a black Kermit the
Kermit
Frog?
the Frog, roach-looking, granny panty thief, mausoleum raiding bastard.
Yo, I voted Trump, bro. Even from England, so I'm just
Roberto, you froze up
the
a little
lone
bit.
Napa supporter to like bring
Yeah, I
some
saw that.
objectivity to the stream.
What were you saying though? Because you looked like you were about to crack the hell up.
See, you guys are cold, man. Stinging
I
the
know,
guy.
right? I'm just a guy. You know what I mean? I've got feelings.
I hear you, Nerd Man. I hear you.
You know what? It's funny because I guess Nerdman's lighting isn't that good. I didn't know this motherfucker was that black.
Look at that.
He's like the same color as his shirt.
Wow.
What's
The
up,
shots are
Super
coming,
Wise? How
Nerd
you
Man.
doing? Facts.
Super Wise, my brother.
Super Wise, man. A pleasure to have you in here, man. Thanks for popping in. After the high tensions of the Penguin watch party, these two titans finally clash. You know what I mean?
Sick of
Jay
this guy, man.
Roberto, tell the
Yo.
people where they can find you, sir.
Right here Wednesday night with my boys them, getting shit off our chests. And Saturday, when I can, with my boys them again and Big Danny. Saturday, 4 o'clock, square one.
Yes, sir. Nerdman, where can they find you?
Hot Text Tuesdays is my channel. I'm also often trolling JG on Superwise's Penguin watch parties. So that's where you usually find me.
And you notice, right? You be watching their watch parties, and they never once asked you, invited you on the panel to chill with them. You know what I mean? I wonder why that is.
They actively said I can't come on.
Show, that's why.
JG, brother, the man.
I see
And
the
you know
love is
what?
shared everywhere, Nerd Man.
I don't know what I've done. Maybe it's my British accent.
And you know what? I always tell JG to do his intros. I gotta say this real quick. JG is the dopest hype man on YouTube right now. Big respect to JG. Do your thing, brother.
JG Shaolin Terrific, the undefeated, undisputed final boss of the 36 champs of Shaolin. What? Thank y'all for tuning in for this amazing, this titan of a show right here, the O.O.C.
What
with
happened
the host,
there?
Anzo, the Abbott and the Osiris of this shit, the Spliff King and the Professor of Gunja, alongside the co-host Roberto, a.k.a. Mr. 100, a.k.a. Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? No trouble, did everything going to be irie. No woman, no cry. And always catch us Saturday, square one. All the brothers talking that sports stuff with the host Danny, the amazing, the outstanding, the charismatic, always man of the hour. Doctor say he's the illest because he suffers from realness. If you smell what Danny is cooking. And Sunday nights, prime time, prime time, prime time. One more time, everybody. Prime time with the host, Super Wise, my brother from another mother. El Príncipe de Nueva York. Penguin Live watch parties. And please, everyone, beware of this other person on this panel right now. The blackest one, the bald-headed one, the harasser himself. You think Trump is something serious? This man is a whole new level right there. The granny panty thief himself. I have it from the highest authority that he raised mausoleums for old women's panties that are deceased. Watch out for this man, everybody. Nerd man, the bald-headed bastard.
Yes, yes, yes. JG, you are the best at that. I can't
Thank
even
you.
lie, brother.
Thank you. Wow.
100%.
I am impressed, JG. It seems like it was all natural.
Off the top.
No
Off
script
the
Off the
top.
needed.
top.
No telecom needed.
Facts,
Wow.
facts. All
How
right,
was it
guys.
scripted?
No,
Off
it's
the
off the
top.
dome. Off the
Off the
dome.
top. Off the
All
top.
right, guys. I
That's
want to
how
thank
we
you
do.
all. That's why it's off our chest, right, Roberto?
That's right.
And I want to say, thank you guys for coming in. Right, as you see the title, and we may, I don't know how long this topic is gonna last, but we're gonna do it for
Oh,
what
it's
we
gonna
get out.
last.
Okay, then it's good. Then it's gonna last
It's
because I'm
just begun. It's really just begun.
to the point where I need a big fat head for this one. You understand? I will be bunning us. America,
This
I
is
was,
vodka, bro. Pure vodka.
you know what I mean?
Trust
Roberto,
me
what
when
you
I
think?
say I was outside 15 minutes prior to the show. You know how it go.
Damn
And
right.
let me come back in here just for a minute. You know how it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
100%.
We have to get some shit off our chest tonight.
Oh, do we ever? Do we fucking ever? Because at this point, and I'm gonna start and I'm gonna cook and then I'm gonna let everybody else cook on here. As you see the title, Donald Trump has won the presidency. And when I put in there that we are all doomed, I may be wrong, but I honestly believe this shit. I really 100% do. With all this shit that is going on in the world, you cannot tell me that you actually think that this guy is going to try to calm everything down with being a diplomatic person. He's a narcissist. He's a convicted felon, and you motherfuckers voted him into office again. Not to mention the fact that the only reason why a lot of people didn't fucking vote for Kamala is because she is a black woman, right? And I said this backstage, and I'm gonna say it this: if you, my friend, and you black, and you voted for Trump, don't tell me. I will have lost all respect for you. 100%. To me, I don't see how you can be a black man and listen to the shit that this fucking dude said and vote for him. I would have rather niggas voted for fucking Ronald McDonald if he was going up against Trump. I don't care who it is. It's not the fact that it's a black woman or anything like that. It's just the fact that this guy has never been fit to be in office. And I still believe that till this day. I also have Haitian people in my family and Haitian friends. And we sat on this fucking stream and we talked about the bullshit about him talking about eating cats and dogs and how disrespectful it was to the Haitian community. And I can't sit there and talk to people who voted for a man who disrespected a fucking group of people like that I have friends for or my friends. I can't do it. Roberto.
I don't know if I should let JG go first.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead and cook.
To be honest, because he was elected once before, I thought with all the rhetoric he was doing that he jeopardized his path to getting it now. But my wife was watching that shit like constant, and I can't understand why Canadians are so involved in shit they can't control and want to talk about it and ruin friendships over shit they can't control. Whatever emotion you're feeling, you think that he's good for the economy. That's just a slogan. I'd like an American friend to prove me wrong. Doesn't a president have to serve 2 terms before his policies are in effect?
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I don't.
especially with the House and the Senate.
Yes.
You have to have a majority to vote most of your policies in. Like the Republicans are always rejecting like Democrat policies, and then they're like, "Oh, why didn't the Democrats do anything?" Well, because the Republicans voted against it.
Exactly. So Trump's been
So
piggybacking on fucking Obama's doings,
Yes.
and
Right.
Biden came in and felt the wrath of Trump's doings.
Right.
Now, he repaired some shit, and I won't lie, the man ain't stable enough to be a president. It's a no-brainer. But like Anzo said, he gave him credit. He said Ronald McDonald. I say a box of Kleenex.
Wow.
Because honestly, I can't comprehend, being on this planet for X amount of years. I've never seen a potential president or leader talk like that on a platform that big. And people are cheering him. People are cheering him. So now I'm coming to like a conspiracy theorist because they're talking about these fucking vaccines are changing people's views. They're not themselves anymore, and they're thinking outlandish things and believing outlandish things. Now, 20 years ago, I'd be saying, you're fucking paranoid, buddy. Get away from me. But now, when I see so many people voting for a man who, before he even thought about running for president, I didn't like the way he rolled.
Facts.
And all the fucking credibility he was getting that he's this and that. What about his failures? Put it on a scale. I bet you the balance of his failures outweigh his successes. And everyone wants to talk about he's good for the economy. What did he do in his 4 years that they're so feeling what he did for the economy? Could somebody tell me?
I wish I could, Roberto, because when you go and really look at the numbers, a lot of people say, "I'll let you go, Norman. Just give me a second." A lot of people say that America has profited more under Obama than under Trump, right? So I don't understand where that narrative comes from. But, bro, to be honest with you, with this election, there was so much fucking bullshit out there that people were believing. I couldn't believe it myself. Nerdman, 1 second. JG, go first.
Now, for months, I said on these panels, Trump's going to win this election.
You did.
Not because I wanted him to. What did I always say? Americans, I hate to say it, but we're dumb. I kept telling you over and over again. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that if you voted Trump, you're dumb. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is the rhetorics and all that stuff that people focus on so much instead of the facts is kind of an ignorant way to vote. When people say they profited more under Trump, it's just from people I've spoken to. It usually comes to where they got more money in their banks, the groceries were lower and stuff like that. That's what they claim when they say I got more under Trump. Under Biden, we've spoken about this on panels. Groceries are high and all the other stuff. That's what they look at. A snapshot and go off of that. But like you guys mentioned, internal shit, right? And so what people don't factor in is, like you mentioned, what Obama wanted to do took some time for it to actually take effect. And when it began taking effect, Trump was in power. So when Trump undoes stuff, now Biden's in power. Now Trump's stuff is starting to take effect.
You know what I mean?
So it looks like Biden's doing a lot of the bad things, but really it's not the case. But a lot of people don't look into that.
100%.
And also, let's also factor in some other things, right? Before Nerdman goes. You have, and I mentioned before, what do people care about? Economy, groceries, housing, and all the other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, when it comes to elections, when there is a growing influx of a certain group, it's happened with slaves, it's happened with Irish, happened with Italians, now it's happened with the Latino population. That fear, I said Trump is running on.
Yes.
Fear. They're going to take your jobs away. They're going to come in. They're going to get all this money. They're going to come in and take everything that you want, the American dream that you want, they're taking it from you. That fear always works. Always works. To me, Kamala's problem was, and I've mentioned this as well, as an undecided voter, regardless of what, because like I said, we know what Trump is. We know he's full of shit. We know that. Who are you? when you're asked these questions, we want answers. We know that you're different from Trump. How are you different from Joe Biden?
Yeah.
And I think she failed at that. So when questions were asked, they do the whole, she did a lot of word salad stuff. Then she goes into Trump. We already know who Trump is. He's a media darling. Whether you like him or not, he comes on air, you want to watch him. Why? Because he's going to say some outlandish things people will hate. He's going to say some outlandish things people will like. When he was on Joe Rogan, when you see that conversation, it almost was like us on a panel talking. People love that. Let's go to Kamala. When she's on these programs talking, it sounds like a politician. Sounds like Hillary Clinton. It kind of turns a lot of people off. So whether or not we like Trump, because we don't like Trump, we know he's a racist, narcissist, prick, motherfucker. We know that. But we can't deny what he did moved people, not the right people we wanted, but it moved people. Look at Chicago. I was shocked Chicago went blue. Very shocked. Because it was a sanctuary city. And if you ever go to other YouTube streams where people from Chicago were talking, mainly black people spoke about, they're coming in doing this. They're taking away our properties and giving it to them. I was
Sorry,
like,
I don't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead, Norman.
Did you say blue or red?
I think Chicago went blue. Illinois went blue.
Oh, went blue. Okay.
I say I was shocked that Chicago as a city went blue. That's why I was shocked.
Oh, okay.
Because of a lot of the stuff that I've heard and listened to. I told you guys before that Bible Belt, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, I was shocked that it went red, but it went red. I said, those states are going to go red. No matter who I vote for, it's going to be red. And we spoke about the Electoral College. Typically, when Democrats win, they're okay with the Electoral College. And Republicans hate the Electoral College. When Republicans win, the Democrats hate the Electoral College. Republicans love it. When it's all said and done, like Daniel Day-Lewis said in that movie Lincoln, we need to stop this bleeding and fix the bullshit. We got World War III looming. It's pretty much already here. Just hadn't hit us yet, but it's already here.
Facts.
We got economy. We got an economic problem going on right now. We still have a country divided, and we'll always be divided. We need to fix these issues. And
if there's one thing I could
whether
say,
we like him or not, one more thing.
Go ahead, JJ.
Whether we like Trump or not, are you going to fix these issues? And I said many times, I think we're fucked either way, whoever gets in office. Because there's too much damage that needs to be fixed. Now I don't know we have enough time to fix it.
Facts. Roberto, you were going to say something before I let Nerdman go?
Hold on. I'm trying to find it now. Yeah, maybe it'll come back to me.
All right, Nerdman, go ahead.
Sorry, Roberto.
It's all good, man.
No. You know what?
It happens.
JG? You needed to cook, so
Yeah, you had to say your shit.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
tried to go off with something you said, and sure enough, poof, it's gone.
Nerdman, your thoughts?
It's really hard to talk about this whole situation. Like, I'm not upset. I'm not, I'm in a different part of the world that his policies probably aren't going to impact like that much, but like America does impact a lot of the world, obviously. So it is kind of the world's business who becomes president of America. So I think like one of the most telling moments on his campaign was, you were talking about this thing with the Haitians and the cats and dogs and whatever. What was more remarkable to me about that situation was that when fact-checked, he said he watched it on TV.
Facts.
So instead of, being a presidential candidate and somebody who should be basing what they're talking about on facts, statistics, this kind of thing, he said he watched it on TV, and yet people still would allow for that kind of blatant xenophobia to to be communicated like by a presidential candidate and still vote for them. I don't understand the logic of it. So this guy is basically saying, you know, I'm just going to believe anything people say about whatever group of people that I've decided to otherize or alienate, right, as something that is an enemy within, right? And I'm just going to base it on whatever the fuck, right? Like not even pretending to have some kind of factual basis for this kind of shit that he spreads. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up about like you mentioned about your black friends. Like I'm not that extreme. I have like friends who are conservatives, Republican, you know, whatever. We tend to try and avoid the conversation with each other and talk about things that we do agree on, but sometimes we get into it. But I want to know from any black person who voted for Trump, and probably they're not here or in the.
Oh, there's one right next to you.
Like that.
What happened?
Roberto just called you out, JG.
I did
No,
not.
I want to know. I
Very
want to
much.
know. I want to
You
know.
didn't vote for Trump, JG?
Hell no. What
Oh,
I
thought heard
always
you
say
earlier
was,
you did.
no,
Sorry.
I said
I
I
thought
was
that was what you were
undecided
saying.
for a lot of
Oh,
times,
you were
right? And I kept saying
undecided?
I do not want to vote for Trump, but I need her to give me a reason to vote for her.
Okay.
And I don't think she gave me enough reason other than I just don't like him. If that makes any sense.
That's a really
Yeah.
good enough reason. That's a good
I
enough
agree.
reason to vote against him. But anyway, so I want to know when America was great for black. Like, tell me a year. Make America great again. What does that slogan mean to you?
Facts.
As a black or anybody else who isn't, you know, like of Caucasian descent? What does that slogan actually mean? Let's make America. When was America great for the majority of ethnicities, genders, you know, sexualities, class? When was it great? I don't understand. Like this is the thing that kind of goes through. I want a year. Tell me when America was great. Give me a year, fucking Trump supporters. What was the year? Was it 1960s? When was it?
Facts.
Because the way I see it, if he's saying America was great at some point when it was fucking slaughtering the Native Americans and slavery and the civil rights movement and all of that, if he's saying America was great at some point during that time, then he's fucking suspect. He's more than suspect. He's a blatant fucking racist.
Facts.
And you just voted him in. It's heartless. It's pure heartlessness. And so going about the fucking economy, we were talking about this earlier, right? Like the economy, to me, it's interesting that people think like politicians have that much control over how great the economy is doing in the first place. It really, like, they really have limited. That's the whole point of, you know, the American system is like the limiting of government when it comes to the free market anyway, right? The government isn't supposed to be that involved. So this notion, even if, let's say, the economy was good under Trump for some bizarre reason, it probably was just a happy accident as opposed to anything that Trump
that he
specifically did or any policies. The only thing this man is in for, and this is the good news, and I'm going to finish here for now. This is the good news. He is a fascist, but I think he's not the kind of Hitler-type fascist who actually believes in the rhetoric he's saying. I think he's a narcissist and a manipulator and a class warrior, essentially, who's in there just saying whatever the fuck he knows people want to hear, because you can't tell me that man's a Christian, that he believes in fucking abortion, like he's an actual anti-abortionist. This man was talking about grabbing women by the fucking pussy, right?
Facts.
Very Christian.
Right?
But you know what, man? But you know what, nerd man? That's what Joe likes to hear. That's what they like to hear.
Sure, I get it. They want to hear that. They think that's, oh, it's boys being bad. That's not boys being bad. I ain't never said shit like that. I don't think Roberto. I don't think Anzo have ever said shit like, yeah,
It's not allowed.
Shit,
know,
not out loud, but yeah, we
no.
behind
You can
closed
say
doors, we don't say some stuff.
say what you can say. Look, oh my god, that girl's fucking ass or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I'll grab her by the pussy. But anyway, that's beside the point.
No, you're right.
That's
You're right.
And to be honest with you, if you do say that, it's a girl you with. You know what I mean? It's someone you dating or something.
Even
Like,
say
hey,
it out
baby,
loud, it's
yeah,
That
disrespect.
old fool you with that though.
100%. Like you say that to her. Yeah, I'm about to grab you by pussy tonight. You know
In
what I
her
mean? Some
ear.
shit like that. Yeah, right. Exactly. Go ahead, Nerman.
But as I said, that's beside the point. What I'm saying is he's a charlatan and he doesn't believe in half of the shit he's saying. He knows it's just, as he said, as you've said, JG, it's going to rile up people because he knows how people tick. Hitler, other fucking dumb idiots. We all know how people tick. It's not some genius thing. It's just some of us have the moral wherewithal to not manipulate people like that and not, use their fear and anger and the fact that that they don't know their job insecurities and all of their living in poverty. We know that instead of blaming the people that are responsible, they're going to blame the Jews or they're going to blame the fucking immigrants or they're going to blame because those are the people next to them, right? As opposed to the people that they can't see. So it's a very easy strategy to take on, but he doesn't believe in it. And that's the good news, because I honestly think, much like Boris Johnson, maybe this is, fanciful thinking. Once he fails spectacularly because he's unqualified for the position he currently holds, right? He's going to fail spectacularly. I want to see when he ends this war in a week with Israel and Palestine. I want to see when he ends the war in with Russia and fucking Ukraine. Right?
Yeah.
He says he's going to end it in a fucking week. Let's see if he does that or if he makes it worse and exasperates the situation. Because once he does, and people see that over the months, he's really going to be put under pressure, and he's going to have no idea what to fucking do, and he's going to cave, and he's going to. I think he's going to leave office. I reckon he will leave office before the 4 years, and that's the good news. So
I don't think that. I don't think he's going to do that, Roberto.
No, I don't think that's happening.
If anything, this guy's going to try and stay longer.
Yeah,
but
maybe that's worst case scenario. But for you to stay, I think you've got to believe. Like if you're like a Hitler or a fucking Mussolini style figure, I think you've really got to believe the shit you're spewing. And I don't think he believes it. I really don't. I think he's just using it for corporate tax cuts.
One of his mandates that he was claiming he was going to do is, let's keep the money in America. Like, instead of sending money here and there, let's keep it here. That's something I wish our prime minister would do. Mm-hmm. Take care of your backyard before you start helping others. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If that's one thing I could say that that he spouted out of his mouth, I could agree with. But other than that, it's pure fear that he has everybody now. And when he makes his decisions, there's nothing really that could stop it from going through.
Right, because he runs the fucking
Republicans
run the Senate. Yes.
He put people in power to cover his ass, and as Dewan said, he just wants to stay out of jail. He's going to give himself, what do you call that?
Immunity.
Immunity. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that can never come back to haunt him again. You got to take your hats off for that, because, he pulled off some magic shit, man.
No, but you have to. What I'm trying to get at, Roberto, is in his first term, nothing was happening in the world. It was business as usual.
COVID? Sorry. Did I say that?
Usual.
Yeah,
COVID. Yeah, but COVID. Look at how he dealt with it. He was terrible, and that was just COVID.
That's why they didn't get reelected.
Right. We're talking about the world on fire at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm truly worried about. Like as bad as I feel about how awful things are going to be for the next few years for minorities and immigrants and whatever in America, it's going to be terrible. I really feel for them. But what he does in the Middle East is going to be very defining on whether we're going to head into fucking World War III. So I think that the title of this is very apt. You know, like, I don't know. It's unpredictable, but like, what's he going to do in there?
I'm right there with you. It scares me because this man has never shown that he can handle situations in an adult fucking manner, right? You can see the way he fucking talks to some of the reporters that don't agree with him. You can see how he talks to certain people, and you think that all of a sudden now Trump is going to be Superman and, like you said, Nerdman, end these wars in a week? Absolutely not. You have fucking North Korea sending troops to fucking Ukraine to help with that Russian war. What does that tell you? That tells you that Russia and North Korea have an ally. They're allies. You understand? So now Putin, Putin, we did it last week, had a fucking interview where he said nukes are not out of the question. So if he does decide to throw a nuke at Ukraine, Ukraine, if he sends a nuke there, what the fuck do you think Trump is going to do? You guys don't like, you have to understand what kind of a situation we're in right now. Like you said, Nerdman, there was no war going back in 2020 like it is now, right? Now we are on like a very thin line when it comes to this World War III shit. I think, as me being alive, this is the closest we've ever been to World War III. And I know we've been close. I've heard like the stories, and you can watch these documentaries of, oh, we were close. But now it's like that line is so thin, it could snap in a second, right? You guys, go ahead.
Go. I was just going to say one quick thing. Did you know that his generals, who basically all quit on him, like because they basically said he's not fit for office, like the generals who were serving under him, they had to convince him not to use nukes. He was questioning them on whether it's appropriate to use nukes in the Middle East.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the guy we're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay.
I'm just saying was fire.
I'm just saying, I really believe that, you know. Okay, so here's the thing, and I know Freddie said, "Oh, where's Danny? Did he vote for Trump and not get invited?" No, I don't know who Danny voted for. I don't want to know who Danny voted for. Right? Danny is my boy, 100. Maybe I'm in the moment, and you know, I'm living, and that's why I'm like, "Oh, if you're back, you vote." But I know for a fact that there are a few Black people that I've been on stream with that voted for Trump, and I don't want to fuck with them anymore. I really don't, right? Because the problem with the voting is I'm not voting for Kamala because she's not Black. She's an Indian woman pretending to be Black. Well, please explain to me how the fuck a woman with a Black Jamaican father is not Black. I don't fucking get that scenario. I don't get it.
Exactly.
And then you want to sit there and talk about, well, you know, I'm not just going to vote for her because she's Black, but what about the fucking white people that ain't going to vote for her because she's Black? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the hypocrisy. And we got to fight this shit because we know, just like when Obama ran, there were people that said they're not going to vote for Obama that were probably Democrats as well because Obama is Black. We had the same situation with Kamala there. At least with her, she knows she may not be a great talker, right? But she can at least talk to the people instead of sitting there acting like a whiny fucking baby because you are being questioned. And you don't like the questioning. You know what I'm saying? And I just sit here and I can't believe that. Well, I mean, America is the only fucking country, and Roberto, you'll agree with me on this, right? Is the only country that scammers call, right? all them fucking Nigerian scammers, the Canadian scammers, and everybody, they only
You had
call
to go
fucking
there.
America. I did 100% because it only works there. Because not everybody in America, but a lot of you are fucking dumb. And when we were doing it, we were calling you, hey, spend $299 and we got to give you a $2,500 credit card. Do you know how much fucking people took that deal? You can't call Canada and do that. They're like, are you out of your mind? You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that.
Same way they say they can't put us under lockdown in the States, same way you can't do that fraud thing in Canada.
100%. What up,
First
Danny?
of all, they wouldn't even give you the time of day, let alone the laws that would come after you, you know?
Facts. Facts, 100%.
Canadians just hang up on you. They don't know. Like, they say hello 3 times. Tell the marketer, hang up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. They give you a campaign in Canada, unless it's a reputable company, you don't want to touch it because you're going to fail. Whatever accolades you have, they're gone once you touch Canada.
100%.
We should talk about Kamala's performance, by the way.
We'll get to that.
Interesting.
Well, just a quick note on what you just said there, Nerd Man. I could say this, like Anzo said, or somebody said. Every time I saw her, she was just basically putting down and
Trump
repetitively talking about Trump's wrongdoings and shit like that. That's what I saw majority of the time. And is that the agenda they had to push that, to brainwash us, to say, hey, we don't want her?
Right.
I mean, this world is so twisted, Nerd Man. I don't want to get involved no more. Don't fucking bother me. This is all stupid shit. It doesn't make sense in my calculator. And I don't want to use my calculator anymore. I fucking broke it. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're right. It's like a fucking donkey is better than
doesn't make sense.
Better than Trump for everything he said, for everything he did, for the fucking sexual assault charges, for saying, oh, your children are gonna go to school and then come back another gender. That's what schools are doing. They're allowing like just unparentally sanctioned gender changes in school. It's like ridiculous, everything this fucking guy was saying. And I don't care. Like, okay, Kamala, whatever. I was pretty mad at her in the presidential debate, right? Like everyone was saying she won. I didn't see it that way. I saw him as having lost because he's fucking out of his mind, basically. But there was simple layups that he gave her, like about this 9 months termination pregnancy or whatever, or abortion.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I was like, the fact checkers challenged her, but she didn't challenge. She just sniggered as if we should all know that that's untrue. I actually went away thinking, holy shit, America is quite crazy. Like maybe they are doing that. That's how, her response to it made me feel. And I think that performance has to be like kind of called out. And all of this bullshit of, I came from humble beginnings just like you, every fucking single time she talked.
Yeah.
And then nothing. It really has to be called out. Like it was a delusional campaign against Trump.
They thought they could just go after all of his flaws and win. And that's not enough because obviously throughout all of his flaws, he just seemed to get more support. So that strategy's a fail. Why the fuck he's still going that route?
And Danny said, bruh, that may be for some Americans, but bruh, I have 300 block spam numbers and people I remotely think ain't legit. Yeah, I'm not saying all Americans, Danny. Like 100%. Like we understand. Like I'm not talking about all Americans, but it's the only country you can do that in. Like let's be real. And me and Roberto have been in that business for a long time. We were in that business for a long time, right? So we understand that. And if you go on YouTube and you just watch, because there's a channel where they find scammers, it's always these Nigerians, and they're always calling America, right? They don't call Canada. They don't call UK, right? Because they're gonna fucking hang up on them. You think you're gonna get me to spend a fucking $250 for a fucking credit card? Like, I know that's stupid. right? We know that's stupid.
Well, we already
So
had a debit card, right? So it's the same thing. They were just getting,
yes,
what do we call it?
it was one of those preloadable cards.
Yeah, it's just a debit card,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
It's
pretty
money from
much.
your bank account.
Yeah, you actually had to put the money on your card, so it didn't
No, it's
have a
just coming straight
2000.
from your bank account.
Yeah,
Your bank
yeah, that's
account
what
has zero. Your card has zero. It's a debit
exactly.
card.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We
100%.
didn't have to pay money for a debit card while you guys were paying money for what we call a debit card, you know?
100%. You know what I mean? And then to bring up Nerdman's point with the abortion stuff, right? Trump is banning abortions. I don't agree with abortions. I don't. But one thing I don't fucking agree with is any government telling any person how to live their fucking lives, right? Telling people what they can or cannot do. If you want to have an abortion, you should have that right to do so, whether I agree with it or not. That is your right to do so. Let God figure it out at that
Especially
point.
in
Religion
the
and
case
state
of
are supposed
rape.
to be
Especially in the case of a rape.
separate.
Hold on, Nerman. Roberto, what are
Yeah.
you saying?
Especially in the case of a rape.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
No, that's
100%.
mind blowing that a woman who's raped and ends up getting pregnant has to conceive this child and have a reminder the rest of her
In
life that
certain
she got
states.
raped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in certain states, yeah.
That's insane. If that's not a loophole to avoid putting that law in effect, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. His war chests were crazy compared to her. She didn't have enough money to compete with him. Plus, I don't think she was very intelligent. You see, I
I
don't
don't
go
think
with
she's
the
And
I
he
don't know if
unintelligent.
is,
it was.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
and
don't
he
think she's
is.
unintelligent. I
Man,
don't
I
think
see
she's
more
I don't
unintelligent.
intelligent
think it's.
pencils.
I don't think it's the intelligence. I think she
Go ahead,
was
JG.
clever
Yeah.
enough, like Trump. Well, Trump is very clever and everything he did. Whether we like him or not, we gotta say Trump is a clever
He's not
ass dude.
clever.
How
He's not
clever is he?
Um,
All he did was degrade her.
that's it. He
You
knows
know,
that. That's all he has to do.
No,
calling her
Well,
a
I think
name.
you're confusing Trump being clever with a lot of his supporters being stupid. The
well,
only supporters
no.
No,
of
to
his
be clever, you also have to
the
know
only
that someone is
supporters of his
stupid
that
in
are
order to
smart,
sway them.
the only
Hold on,
supporters of
Nerman.
his are smart
For
are the
someone to
rich
be
ones.
no. For someone to
Hold
be
on.
clever, you also have to know when someone is stupid enough to move him in the
Yes,
direction that you want them to go.
right. I believe
That's
that's
what I'm
what
saying.
JJ mean. I believe that's what JG is saying, right? When he says clever, he knows how to work with the people that will agree with him, right? Because
Exactly.
remember, this is the same guy that talked about good people on both sides, right?
Mhm.
You remember
The
that
good old
fucking bullshit?
boys.
Oh, exactly, right? Same fucking man who was sponsored by KKK leaders, right? Who was one of his biggest sponsors at one point in 2020, right? This is what I'm talking about. And for me, when I say like it's not just the abortions, even when it comes to drugs, bro. If you're not hurting anybody and you just want to sit down and waste your life away and smoke fucking crack, then you should have the right to do that. The government should not have the right to tell people what they cannot do with their bodies. I just don't agree with that shit. And I will never agree with that shit. Right? As long as you ain't hurting nobody, then you could do whatever, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want to. Right? There are some people out there who their enjoyment is getting high. Right? That's their enjoyment. Now, my high is weed, right? But I know functional crackheads. I've seen functional crackheads. I've seen crackheads ask my father for money and then pay his ass back because they knew anytime they needed,
You
he
crackheads
would
that
give it
held a
to them.
job.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, to sit there and tell people what they can and cannot do with their bodies, I don't agree with that. I don't care about, I don't agree with abortion. I said that earlier. I don't agree with it, right? If that's what you want to do, then you have the right to do that with your body. No government should tell you what you can or cannot do. That is
Here's
my
my
opinion.
here's
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
issue. I mean, I kind of see the side of the anti not the more wild side, but like this basic kind of arguments against abortion. I kind of see some aspects of what they're getting at, but it relies so much on religious speculation, and so look, I think there's an easy medium that you could have with it. When a fetus is a cluster of cells, is it any different from wearing a fucking condom? Do you know what I mean? Like, or taking the pill. And my issue is, if you start by saying, okay, well, we don't have the ability to just, when something is a cluster of cells in us, to have an abortion, to see that as a form of birth control, if you will. What stops them from going the next fucking step, which is happening all over fucking Africa, where they ban fucking condoms, and they ban fucking any kind of sexual, this is the issue with it. There has to be a point where we can actually agree, whether you're on one side or the other, that something, without any kind of religious context is not technically a life yet.
No, I get it.
Life worthy of like kind of moral consideration. So yeah, maybe we could, stop abortions a bit sooner than we do. But when it's a cluster of cells, as I said, I just think it's ridiculous. But in any case, you're right. They shouldn't be able to tell a woman to do that. But you've got to have a limit to it. Obviously, you can't be doing it like at fucking 5 months or something along those lines.
They're making
keep that thought.
They're making mention of slogans, Danny and Doug here, and that Kamala didn't have any slogan. What was Trump's slogan? Make America Great Again?
Yeah, that's what he's always running.
That's a fucking false slogan, because when he was president, it wasn't great.
Facts.
So the slogan's a farce. He's no different than any other politician.
The government is getting involved through schools and organizations to take kids away from parents that refuse their impressionable children from wanting sex changes. So I don't agree with that as well, 100%. But I also think that's like this fear tactic where it's like, oh, guys, that's kind of what Trump was running on. Oh, you're going to send your kid to school and then they're going to come back as a girl. What? What the fuck are you talking about? Shut up with that. You know what I mean? His ads, his commercials were 3-1 compared to hers. I don't even think she had a slogan. Doug, thank you for popping in, said her slogans were not going back, and when we fight, we win. Said conservatives are all for personal freedom, freedom of religion, small governments, etc., as long as you are a right-wing Christian and stick by their morals.
Right,
Said,
exactly. The hypocrisy. Right,
Mr. Doug, did they stick? No, Make America Great Again did. And they even used MAGA as an acronym.
Yeah, but it's bullshit, Danny. Just like they keep reelecting that DeSantis guy in Florida. That guy's a nut too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all over the U.S. There's senators that do pure bullshit and they get reelected because majority
Danny,
of the people agree with that bullshit. That's all it means.
Absolutely.
Danny, I'll ask the same question I asked earlier. If you can answer me, what exact point in American history was America great, especially when you look at it through the context of minorities, through the context of genders, through the context of class? When specifically was America great? I don't really understand what time. I wish they would tell me a day, like, so I could research this year, this great fucking 10 years or 20 years when America was great. Because for what I've seen, it's all been violence, murder, assassinations of presidents, fucking war, slavery, and that's not to say that's, I'm not trying to like hold that wholly against America. Obviously the slavery and whatever, but it's history, it's evolution, it's how we evolve into a more enlightened society. But nonetheless, if you're using that slogan, you've got to tell me when the fucking America was great.
Danny said, Roberto, I'm not saying any of that matter. I'm just saying, y'all just said Americans were stupid. I'm giving y'all reasons why Trump won.
Because of the slogan.
Oh, he just
Or,
give you a number of reasons why she didn't do as well as she could have. Like I
That's
mentioned
exactly
earlier.
what I think, though. Sorry.
I
Oh,
mentioned earlier that
go ahead, JG.
we know Trump. We know what he is. We know what he's about. For decades, we've known who Trump was, right? Even with the Central Park Five, or whatever, we knew who he was then. We don't know Kamala, whatever you pronounce her name. We don't know her. What do we know about her? We know that she had several positions that many say she failed in. Some say she did it. We know that she's had multiple side hoish stuff that some people call her a hoe. What you do behind closed doors is your business. I would always say it. That has no bearing on can you run this country. And when I saw several of her town halls, and I forget the guy's name, but one thing he asked her was, you say you can do all these things now. Why did you do that for the past 3.5 years? If you can't answer that question, you have lost a lot of undecided voters.
well, it's very easy. It's a very easy answer.
It's a very easy answer, but
the Republicans blocked it.
And not even that, Nerdman. Sorry, JJ, go ahead.
She never stated that. She did her whole typical word salad that she's always accused of.
Yeah.
The election was basically handed to her on a silver platter if she just did what she was supposed to do. I think she did too much like Hillary Clinton did, but I think that lost her the election. Focus on what
and in the email.
True. Focus on, okay, I understand Trump is bad. You can't, every time you ask the question, well, Trump did this. We know what the fuck he did. Again, we know you are different from Trump. How are you different from Biden, who had a poor record as far as approval rating? And she had an even lower approval rating. So what makes you different from Joe Biden, especially when you said you wouldn't change anything that you guys did?
Yeah, that was a mistake.
And I do agree with you on there, JG. I think she needed to separate herself from Joe Biden. I agree with you 100%. I don't deny that. This one says, and make America great again is their code for us taking back when women, blacks were not equal and couldn't vote and gay people had to stay in the closet. Of course, that slogan stuck with MAGA. I heard Kamala's concession speak was really for her wanting president in 2018. Yeah, I know, I feel you. Said, I think MAGA is referring back to a time before Obama when race was so heavily polarized politicians and voters. There used to be a time when identity wasn't even being used to divide neighbors. Well, that's the thing. And I think a lot of the divide that happened started with Trump. Like, I'm not going to say, no, first off, before you guys say anything, I'm not saying it was never before Trump. But I'm just saying, when Trump got into power, the rhetoric and all the shit we were saying, I mean, the Karen videos, right? All of that shit started when Trump was in power, calling fucking police on black people because they were fucking having a barbecue in the park. Not to mention the fact now Trump wants to give police 100% immunity. What the fuck do you think that means for black Americans? Just that alone should have had you been like, no, I cannot vote for that, because we can see all the time how many, and I do apologize, Danny, because I'm not disrespecting police officers, but we see how many times white cops have murdered black people and got away with it. Now Trump is going to give them 100% immunity, so we can't even charge or say anything about these motherfuckers when they kill us.
You know what that means? Get rid of the tasers.
Facts. This is who you fucking voted for. This is who you guys put into power. Nerd man. It's not what is true, it's what is perceived that people believe in. I do not think Trump is a good person and even a worse leader. People are very easily fooled. And that's the thing. People not only are easily fooled, they don't do their fucking research, right? We had fucking this narrative that Kamala had put more black men in jail when she was district attorney than anyone else. Then when you really go look at the facts, it's not fucking true.
But see, that's her fault. She should have ran on that stuff. Everything that was lies about her, that's what she should have pushed in there to like, hey, all that shit that he's doing, those are all lies. This is how things really went down. Push
I
that
agree.
narrative. Not
I
say,
actually
well,
feel.
Trump is bad and go around circles.
I
Tell
agree.
us who you are.
I
I
agree.
actually feel a bit for Kamala because I think she was that it was a kind of like pincer trap, right? Like everything she was that could differentiate her from Trump, she had to reassure people in swing states, right, that she isn't going to take their guns. She had to reassure, Jewish supporters and donors, for that matter, that she wasn't, pro fucking Palestine. Everything that could separate her, like the Democratic Party, from the right wing. It's like she had to move further towards the right to appease a lot of people because she probably felt the pulse of the country, which it is leaning that way, like unfortunately.
And
And she knew his rhetoric is speaking to a lot of people, like, oh, they're going to take away all our fucking guns. It's like they haven't done it in like several fucking times that they've been in power. Why would they do it now?
I'm gonna get to your comment in a second, Mike, because I want to do this. He said, Anzo, have you ever thought that the 100% immunity can be used in reverse? Let that sink in. So first off, what do you mean by in reverse?
Reverse, I
Because
don't know.
it doesn't even matter if it can work in reverse. The fact that they kill us and the fact that they will get away with it should be enough to scare you. It doesn't matter if it's one, if it's two, it doesn't matter. That should scare you. Or well, not you because you're a police officer. So, but I understand. But
Well, I know Danny can speak on this more than anything I can say. Cops pretty much already have immunity already, as long as they do everything that according to the training and all that stuff, they have immunity. So when Trump says, just
hold on,
real quick. So when Trump, when we say they're gonna give cops 100% immunity, I agree with you, Anzo. Like, what the hell does that mean? That you can do whatever the hell you want and get away with it?
Pretty much,
right? So I need more because we got to deal with this motherfucker for 4 years. So I need more details, right? My head is already on swivel. Does have to be more on the swivel even more? Like what?
But when you leave it blunt like that, it's self-explanatory.
I agree.
Danny
if you have immunity with da 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 da, then you can say okay. But if you say you just have complete immunity, exclamation mark, that means for everything.
That's scary.
Yeah,
that's very scary, man.
Danny said, "Bro, I'm joking." Danny, it's not you, bro. I'm just passionate. Like right now, like I'm passionate about this, right? And I know people will say, "Oh, you're Canadian. Like, what do you care?" But I think a lot of the shit that's going to happen is going to affect the world. Like for me personally, my biggest issue is I honestly don't think that Trump is going to handle this world situation that's going on properly. I really don't. And I think he's going to make it a lot worse than it is now, to the point where you can wake up in a month from now and World War III has begun. That's what scares me. And I think that should scare a lot of people, man. I really think a lot of people ain't thinking about that. They're not, right? Like, I don't got money for a fucking bunker. You know what I mean? I don't got Elon Musk money for a bunker. And I'm not going to be one to pick to be going to a bunker.
When you say Elon Musk, because who's partying up with Trump with his victory?
And that's a scary thing. His little Justice League he has with him.
He's probably like, yes, now Elon, you can push that button and all your robots can do the things you say they'll do.
100%.
That's 150% what I'm concerned with. Not only like what's going to happen with like Gaza and even the West Bank, like in Israel. Like I think they're going to be fully empowered to do whatever the fuck they want now.
I believe.
But beyond that, like how is the rest of the Middle East around them going to respond? And then you've got to think about the fucking oil pipelines that are running through fucking Iran and all of these fucking countries, and what happens when they decide, oh, fuck that, we can't win this war with Israel, like, on a kind of military basis. We're just going to fuck up your oil pipelines. It's, this is going to cause huge a huge wave of economic depression.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really frightening. It is
And to
really
be
frightening.
honest with you,
And yeah, go.
yeah, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say, to be honest with you, we could be just fearful, right? Maybe nothing will ever happen. But if you look at the way things are going, do you have enough faith in Trump to fix it? I don't. I haven't. I think he's gonna make it worse. Sorry for cutting you off, there, man. Go ahead.
No. It's okay. It was as you were saying. I don't know about World War III. I don't know about whatever. I'm just looking at that situation in the Middle East and the rhetoric he's been talking about. I would actually prefer the isolationist Trump in regards to that situation where he's like mostly like, oh yeah, fuck
Let them
Ukraine and
handle their
Russia,
own business,
let
right?
them handle
Yeah,
their own
yeah,
business. Right.
Mhm.
Even though, that wouldn't be great for, again, Palestinians, it wouldn't be great for the Middle East. But I think him actively having to be involved because a lot of his donors were fucking Israeli, Zionists, basically. So now he has to be actively involved in that situation, and he has to basically do what they say. That's the situation we're in. So I don't know. How that's going
Danny,
to map out or what that's going to look like.
if you want to come true, Danny, let me know. I'm gonna get to this one. Roberto, do you have something to say? Because you were saying something.
No, go ahead.
Everyone's talking about how good Trump did, but they're not talking about how good Harris did with only 2 months prep time. That's kind of embarrassing for him. I agree with you because we got to remember she was just pushed in there, right? And maybe she had a hand in it. Who knows, right? Maybe the Democratic Party thought that she was the best one for the job, or maybe like Roberto said, it's all part of the plan, and they knew she wasn't going to win anyways. You know what I mean? And says, hey, let's just do this. I don't know. Then I said, I always say that we believers have to pray for um, de- deconcernment and not fall for all this junk. We are living in a very sinful world. It's truly sad. I agree with you. I agree with
I
you.
say that all the time, Danny.
They do research, but only on sources that echo their belief. Anything else is fake news, liberal propaganda, or woke. 100% I agree with you. Because I have been on Twitter where I've sent those contradictions to what Trump has said, right? I even had one dude where we were going back and forth with this fucking dude, Tommy the guinea pig, right? Back and forth with the Haitian stuff. And this motherfucker sent me the clip of the Ohio woman that got caught eating the cats and dogs, or whatever she did, cats and dogs, whatever. But she wasn't an immigrant. She was from America. She was Ohio, and then had the nerve to say, well, if this one isn't true, you still can't ignore the other ones. What?
But hold on. Didn't that vice president running guy with Trump say that he made it up?
Yes.
So
Yes.
why is this not the fucking forefront of that conversation more
Facts.
so than the Haitians actually doing it? He said
Yeah.
he made it
Facts.
up. Why are we still defending the Haitians and he made it up?
100% Roberto. He literally
That what
said
does that
it.
say, Onzo? I
I
ain't say
know.
listen, Danny, you never heard the word stupid come out of my mouth. But a spade's a spade, right?
Hmm.
The outcome of some of these things that are happening makes no fucking sense.
I agree. I
He
agree.
should have been
100%.
disqualified immediately on saying that.
That's
And
what I'm
then being
saying.
and then being fact checked, and then they're like, "There's no basis to this whatsoever." Oh, I
That's
watched it
what
on TV.
that's what
How,
I'm
how
You
saying. If
don't
can
believe
you
anybody
things that are on TV sometimes. It's like,
if anybody running for prime minister here in Canada, as fucked up as you want to say maybe our politics are, which they could be, if anyone put that shit on there, they would have been kicked off of the president or the prime minister run. No one would have been. They would have been like, bro, like you can't run saying that shit. You know what I mean? But it's only because you have a whole bunch of fucking racists in America that are just running around. Yeah, it's true. I could not believe people were, oh, yeah, they're eating the cats and dogs. And there was not one shed of proof for that fucking bullshit narrative that they were running around with. Until this day, people will still believe that shit. Till this day. They were clutching their pearls when Harris pointed out his ex-chief of staff said Trump was a facet like in November, but ignore the fact that Trump was calling her a facet as far back as August. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like when you watch like dudes like Piers Morgan, right?
Yeah.
And they're fucking bullshit with Trump shit, he'll always say, well, everybody's calling Trump a facet. Do you agree with that? And he expects you to say no. But then when you ask him about all the things that Trump said, he's crickets. It's crickets.
And he
You know what
also
I'm saying?
doesn't mention that that Trump has been calling her a communist, right? For the longest time, all of the Democratic Party communists, which is bizarre because they're completely not. They're such in the pocket of like corporate interest. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he's been calling them communists. So what's the difference? They call him fascist, or he calls them communist. What? I don't understand. Like, where's the Piers Morgan never says that. Piers Morgan never goes, oh well, you know, why is Trump calling them communists for no reason when they're clearly not? Are you trying to tell me Kamala Harris is a fucking Marxist? She wants to start a revolution in America and overturn, you know, capitalism. It's just nonsense.
Facts. William Brown said, let's see how many rap battles he starts. For real. Kamala Harris was robbed. The American people were robbed. Even World War 2.5 would be bad. 100%. Then I said, cops do not have 100% immunity. There was a time when cops had a lot of leeway. Now, today, the rules are more strict. I know you may not see it or believe it, but it is. No, I agree with you, Danny. And I thought we were on the right pace because Derek Chauvin got charged, right? The Sonia Massey thing got charged, right? So these cops were getting charged for their actions. And I thought we were on the right course. Like, it's going to take a while. It's not going to be fixed overnight. 100%. But now with Trump in there, those situations of those cops being, can you understand that George Floyd's Derek Chauvin in this day and age, if that happened, would not even see a courtroom? That's what's scary. You understand what I'm saying? You would not even see a courtroom. We've seen the Rodney King stuff where the cops at least went to court. They were found not guilty. And we've seen a lot of cops go to court and were found not guilty. But at this point now, there will not even be a court meeting. Like, damn. Next June will be my 30th year in this profession, and it's way different and more stringent to be an officer than it was back then. Better trained and better equipped. I agree with you, Danny, 100%. And I also believe that that is a situation that needs to happen. I do, 100%. I think cops should be should have a higher standard, right, than a regular citizen. I do agree with that, and I'm happy that there's more training for cops and everything like that. But at the same time, I do feel like with Trump in there, it's just gonna reverse it. JG, your thoughts? Because you've been quiet, then Roberto, then Nerdman, and I'm gonna send Danny the link. Go ahead,
What
Jay.
happened?
I said your thoughts.
On what? No, I was trying to look for my phone charger. What happened?
Oh, were you burning before you came on the stream today?
A little
They
bit,
went-
little
they
bit.
You
So
were
what
they
happened?
talking
went-
about
What
the
happened?
cops immunity.
Oh,
When
cops
it-
immunity.
yeah.
Look, if you ever came to my city of Memphis and saw how the cops do, man, it is. I agree that if the cops get 100% immunity, like we're thinking that it will happen, it's going to be dangerous for minorities, especially as black men. Walking while black, right? That's probably going to end up happening. Wrong. You have to be black and nearby, right? Or you just happen to be black and just coming out the store. Like we saw the video where a black guy, they were looking for, the guy lied at the
Yeah.
and they jumped on the first black guy, they just jumped on him,
Mhm.
right? Or there's going to be more of that. And if there is more of that, will those individuals actually live to give the testimony on how they were treated wrongly by those cops? So it's a lot of fear these next 4 years. And I said this many times, these next 4 years are going to make or break America.
Yes. And
It
it's
is
funny.
crazy.
It's funny too because it could just all be fear. It could just be us fearing it. at the same time, right? Fear mongering, whatever you want to call it. It could be that. But when you really look at what is going on in the world, I think it's going in a direction that should be fearful. Roberto.
Mm.
Yeah, I just feel like, we're going in circles with this, but we're going to feel it. We're going to feel it. And even the Canadians that claim
Mm-hmm.
he's good for the economy, he wants to get rid of NAFTA, right?
Yeah.
So you don't think that's going to affect us?
100% it is.
Dude, not just NAFTA. He wants to raise tariffs. I deal with
Yes.
tariffs as my job. All the stuff that you just found out, I know weeks ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at stuff right now like, damn, these duty rates went up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are absolutely
Now, I
correct.
think his reasoning is, hey, we raise the tariffs, maybe but the negative effect of it, is it worth it? See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the NAFTA agreement, that was what the Clintons did that, I believe. I could be wrong.
No, I think it was him. He says Canada's making too much, and
yeah, he don't like Canada.
Make it. Yeah, he don't like
Trump
true.
don't like
I don't blame him.
It's ridiculous.
Danny, what's up, brother? Thanks for popping
What's
in.
up, Danny?
Hey,
Danny.
Danny.
What's up?
Yo, what's up?
You're lucky you came in because I was gonna go off on your black behind. I'm just kidding. What's up, Danny? Glad you made it.
Hey, no problem, bro.
Let me get to this comment first. This is gonna sound divisive, but I don't hear blacks and POC in the same sentence because non-blacks showed their true colors this whole lead up to this election. Yeah, and I think a few black people showed their true colors too as well. To be honest with you, what are your thoughts, Danny?
I hear I talk. A president don't have absolute power now. He may
No.
try and tell you, but he got to go through Congress, and also the judicial system has some say so in that. And I know people say, "Well, he appointed." Yeah, just because you appoint a judge, don't mean that judges have to always agree with you. And sometimes they can be faking the funk the same way he is. And once they get in there, they in there for life.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not cut and dry that just because he's the president, everything that he says is gonna come to pass. Also, too, a lot of people don't know this. Like, if he want to go to war, the only people he can send to war, the branch is Marine Corps. It's called the President's Own. He can send a certain number of people without getting an act of Congress. But if it goes over that number, he has to have Congress, the Senate, and the House to say, okay, we're gonna send ABC 1, 2, 3. So I'm not saying that World War III won't or will happen, but he has to go through a lot of different steps before he just can't say, okay, I'm gonna push the button. No, you got to go through steps. There are checks and balances too.
I agree. Hold on, Nerman.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that, Danny, 100%. But don't the Republicans run the Senate now? So it's going to be easier for him to get laws passed because everybody is like a Republican. They run the Senate.
Yeah, but all
Plus,
Republicans
war is an executive order, but
all Republicans don't agree. Just like the five of us on this, we don't agree about certain things. We all black men, but we don't necessarily agree with it. Everything. So just because you are Republican, that don't mean that you're gonna always get your way.
Yeah,
I got you.
But they're very dedicated to the Israel being their puppet state within that region. So I don't know as well. Just talking about this World War III thing, I think it's more like you're going to see America, arming a lot of, I think it's more in the sense going to be like, it's going to be military kind of aid and stuff like that to Israel. That's going to ramp up that situation in the Middle East. I don't know about them sending Americans there necessarily. I don't think that's, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, basically.
I'm more concerned with Russia starting World War III. Yes. I don't think Putin cared nothing about nobody, know nothing. And I am not a fan of Donald Trump by no means, but I think that he can handle that situation better than Kamala because some men see women automatically as being weak and they don't respect them.
That's true.
And get pushed over. I don't think that the same pushback that Kamala would get, he's going to get.
We also remember when Kamala was going overseas talking to these foreign diplomats, it didn't always go well.
I agree with you 100%, but I don't have enough faith in Trump that he is going to handle it in a diplomatic way, right? Trump is one of those my guns are bigger than your guns type of guy. You know what I mean? So I really think, yes, in a way, if he, because he's a man, they would kind of listen to him more than Kamala. But at the same time, I don't think Trump has it in him to deal with that properly, right? Now I know that the stuff that him and Putin are kind of close or friends or whatever, but at the same time, Putin is aligned with North Korea. North Korea is a hated enemy of the United States. North Korea is sending troops to Ukraine to help fight that war. That's where we have to really worry, right?
Well, I'm
Not
worried
to
too.
yeah, go
They,
ahead.
Yeah, but
they said,
Trump was
Hold on
talking
there,
to
man.
Kim
Hold
Jong-un. Okay.
Yeah, hold on there, man. Let Danny go.
re-
Danny, go ahead.
really quick, they say the president of North Korea ain't really the bad person. They say his sister
Yeah, his
is
sister is
Yeah.
the one.
even worse than he is, and I don't know if
Mhm.
I don't know if he's in good health or not. So that's what we got to worry about. I
Mhm.
just
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like I said, Trump is not presidential. He is nowhere even in my stratosphere for being a good president. But I'm not really happy with neither one of them. I think America dropped the ball on both parties because the Republicans should have been grooming somebody much better, as
Mhm.
well as the Democrats. It shouldn't have been who's lesser of two evils. It should have been who's the best person. So right now,
Yeah.
the past few elections has been who's the lesser of two evils, and we should get away from that.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with you
In my
100%.
opinion.
No, I agree with you
Mhm.
100%. You shouldn't have to vote for the lesser of two evils. That, and I've said it, like you guys' politics are screwed, right? And I think even the politics here in Canada are just as screwed, right? Because now everybody's trying to get our prime minister out of office. Like they're trying to get him to resign, or they're trying to set up an election because they have. And it's funny, right? Because they did a what did they do in Phantom Menace? A
Is
vote of
y'all
no confidence. No, a
yeah,
vote of no confidence on him.
is y'all prime minister for life or does he have a term?
No, he has a term, but
Longer.
yeah, and he can run as many times as he wants to.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So he can run like let's say he has his term is up, they do and he does like 2 terms, he could do 3, he could do 4, he could do as many terms as he wants to. Roberto, go ahead, man.
That,
You haven't
now
spoken
that
long.
now that's scary.
Yeah, it is.
We're still on the same topic.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
still
and
talking
I
Trump.
don't know what to say anymore, like in a way, but like,
Let me change the topic real quick. This might not, their man might not like this. But man, is Saquon Barkley, is he human?
Oh, did you see the jump over the dude?
I ain't never seen nothing like that before. I was like, I was so glad this suck on my fantasy league. Thank you, Lord.
You know what, Danny? That move was so spectacular, and they don't emphasize on the spectacularness of that move.
No.
He jumped over that guy in reverse. That
Yeah.
guy didn't. That guy didn't dive at him. That guy threw his body at him, standing up,
I ain't never seen
and he
nobody.
jumped over him. Now that is insane. That's
Wow.
insane.
If Saquon Barkley was to go and trace his family
you've got to
tree,
send me a link to this, man.
it would trace right back to Kunta Kinte.
I'm looking for it.
I want to
Yeah,
see
I
this
mean,
now.
they had on our talk radio show if there's anything remote. Have you ever seen anything remotely close to that?
Nope.
And I wanted to answer, but I didn't have. I was driving. You know, I would have said maybe Barry Sanders because I
Somebody
seen
can-
Barry Sanders do
somebody
some
compare-
stuff.
Somebody compared him to Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders did some stuff to linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, defensive ends, like
Roberto, who you think
crumble.
Barry Sanders or Walter Payton?
Ooh.
So
Me, Barry Sanders is my all-time favorite.
I
so
keep leaning
that's
towards
what I'm
Walter
taking.
Payton. I seen Walter Payton.
Walter Payton was something else, man.
I'll never forget that run he did on the Redskins. Oh, he made me sick.
Yeah, but that's one run.
No,
I seen this guy run amongst Dallas Cowboys. He disappeared. and he did Shazam, and he was out of there. You just saw guys falling, like he had lotion all over him or something. He just came from a Diddy party, you know.
Let me get to these comments real quick. He said all foreign leaders think Trump is a clown. He thinks they respect him, but I say they might pretend to only so they can manipulate him while laughing at him behind his back.
100%, Doug.
Sounds like a senator. Y'all need term limits as much as we need term limits. Not just term limits, but age limits as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should not have a president over 60.
I agree with you, Danny. 100%.
There was actually one question I wanted to ask regarding this. Okay, so since America is clearly it's basically the world police in the absence of an actual international body like the UN being powerful enough to do anything, to do, world policing essentially. So America is essentially the world police, right? So since it's so powerful and it has so much of an impact on most countries, don't you think like we should all have a vote in the American presidency, like the whole world in a sense? Like I feel like we should at least have like our vote should mean like 0.5% or something like that. Like the rest of the world, like Americans, it's a full vote. The rest of the world get like 0.5% vote.
On you right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Danny. No, I'm with Danny on that one. No, we don't.
Why?
Need that,
Why?
Right?
You told me why.
Okay, so I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people in other countries don't really follow American politics. I do. Roberto does. A lot of us do. But at the same time, most of us don't really know.
Okay, tell me this. What's happening in Ethiopia?
Negro, we don't know.
Yeah, okay. What's happening in Portugal?
We do not know.
Spain?
What's your point?
Exactly. The point is, at least, I'd say 30 to 40% of people would be able to answer that question with America. With any other country around the world, they can't, because it doesn't impact them. It doesn't affect them. Only America affects them. And that's my point. You know, you can say what you will about not that many people follow American politics, but enough do.
I think a lot of it too is because it's sometimes like a Hollywood damn movie. You know what I mean? Like when you watch some of these politics, it feels like you're watching a movie. I'm like, really? Like this is what we're doing. So I can understand that, but I just don't think a lot. Like we know it. But I can never sit here and say I completely understand it. Like I asked Danny the other day, can you explain the electoral college shit to me? Because I don't have a clear understanding of it. You know what I mean?
Most Americans don't have an understanding of it. Like, come on,
true.
bro.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I just think, no, you govern your own place, right? We shouldn't have a say in it.
So let me get this.
Then they shouldn't be allowed to be world police then. Basically,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, the only reason why we are world police because everybody keep calling and asking us for help.
And America's been a superpower for centuries.
And like fools, we keep sending them money, trillions and millions of dollars, getting ourselves in the hole instead of saying, "Look, no, if you ain't America, I've been saying this before. I don't think if you was born here, you should not get to go to these high schools like MIT, Harvard." All these big places and learn our technology and our laws and go back to your country and teach your people and then use it against us. No, America is you try to do the good Samaritan stuff, but there comes a time you got to draw a line. But we don't draw a line.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Danny. I think the thing that makes America great, which is what you seem to be turning against right now, is the fact that you are a culture where you can go, is there, think of anything, a Palestinian mathematics professor, right? Or a Lebanese pizza owner. You Google that in America, you'll be able to find anything from any country around the world. And that's why people love it so much. That's why people want to go there, because it is
but
it is
why would you teach somebody your knowledge, your skill, and they're gonna come back and use it against you? What
right.
sense does that make?
Right,
I
you're
don't
not
think
really
I don't think
understanding
that
what Danny's saying because I
I
agree
don't
with
think
him
that
because it's hold
happens
on.
as much as
But
you're
hold on.
saying. But
Let me say I agree with Danny because it's the same thing here. They'll come to get their free education, like we want to talk about
Well, it's
Roberto,
not free, but it's next to
mm,
free based on what other universities cost around the
right.
world.
Right. You know what I mean? Like you're not paying
And they're
tens of
gone.
thousands of dollars for tuitions and all stuff like that. So you're coming down here, taking our resources, learning how to, become a doctor, and then going back to your country with all the knowledge you learned from here.
wait a second though. Do you think somebody from Pakistan or India comes to America, like goes
Yes.
to medical
Yes, you haven't
school,
seen the
Yes.
hospitals
and
here. Majority
wait
of them are
and then
non-American.
fucks off back to India?
Yes.
Well,
I think
So
that's
I don't
I
know.
think
wait,
that's
hold
a
on.
Well, they don't go back to
I think
India.
that's a
So
minority. I
hold
think
on,
most
hold
of
No,
on.
they
them
don't
No, no,
go
stay
no,
back to
thereafter
no, no.
in
India.
America.
Hold on,
I think
hold
most
on,
of
no,
them
no,
stay
no.
thereafter in
Let me
America.
explain to you this, right? Because my bosses are Indian, right? And they were putting me onto something. And I don't know if Roberto's been following, but we had a bunch of Pakistani migrants that came over here to learn schooling, right? Not only did they come over here to learn schooling, they were like you would get a sponsor, right? So Pakistani man would say, "Okay, we're going to send you over here to go to schooling." They would send them to a school that doesn't even really have the curriculum, right? Like you don't have the curriculum to become a doctor, or you're learning it, but you're not. It's not noticed, right? Like the government is like, what
Not
kind of school is
recognized.
that? Not recognized. What kind of school is that, right? So they're sending them over here now. But now our government wants to ship all of these guys back who came over here on false pretenses, right? Wants to ship them all back because they came over on false pretense thinking they were going to learn in these schools and stuff like that. The government knows that these schools exist because they are funding them and then are sending them back because it's not we have an immigration problem, so it's time to send them all back, right?
And I
So
can
what I'm
and I
saying
can
is,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, Danny.
and I can tell you
No,
right
no.
now, we deal with it every day. The Indians come, and I'm using them because that's more prevalent in my mind. They'll come here, they'll get these liquor stores, these vape stores, these hotels, whatever the case may be, pay little or nothing for it. But if I try to go and get a business loan, I got to jump through 50 million hoops. I got to do this. I got to get a business plan, this kind of stuff. They're getting these free grants, getting this, living in these fat houses. And what they do, they get a work visa for their people, come over here, they'll get a big sum of money, and they'll go back, either send it back. I'm not saying if you come here legally, whatever, that's one thing. But if we are constantly, and then there's this conspiracy theory, but I believe there's some truth to it, that there are sleeper cells here in America. I definitely believe it. I think there was a sleeper cell that did 9/11. These people are coming over here on the false pretenses, like Nzo said. If they're doing that, and we can prove that they are coming over here with the intention that maybe not 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but on such and such date, such time, you're gonna activate these sleeper cells and do this. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with
I think you're
Americans.
talking about two
I,
separate problems, though. I think like there's first of all, if there were, I would imagine there would have been a lot more of incidents, not like on the scale of 9/11, but at least incidents of violence, like caused by kind of these immigrants or whatever. You would have had a lot more of those if there were these sleeper cells everywhere, like trying to, I don't know, undermine America. I don't know what exactly their ideology would be, but I think there's a lot of people who hate America, but I think a lot of them are actually in the Middle East and are doing more damage to people in the Middle East than they have ever done to Americans or on
You know
American
why?
soil.
Because a lot of these Middle East countries don't have the nuclear hardware or the technology that America has. That's the only
But
thing
my,
that's keeping.
No, let
but
him
my,
finish, man. Go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
Danny. Let him finish.
I mean, all I'm saying is that I went to a class about 6 years ago, and now I'm seeing it now. I didn't see it 6 years ago, and I'm seeing it now. And the instructor in that class said there are 3 countries right now that are making supercomputers, like AI. He say United States is one. He said China is one, and Russia. He said whoever gets to that supercomputer first and gets it made is going to run the world. And right now, the first signs of it is the AI. We only like, if I had to guess, 5 to 10 years away from this supercomputer that's going to take over. And I think China is ahead of us. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know whether China and Russia is working together, but I think there is a very active effort to try to destroy America. Because I know if you go to Hawaii, all you see is Chinese people. If you go to certain parts of the country, there's a large population, like Myrtle Beach, where I live at. There's a very large population of Russians and Ukrainians. And they bind up all the property, they bind up everything they can buy up. So I think if America's not 16 sharp, that we're not going to own this country next decade or two because China's buying up our debt. These Russians and others, Ukrainians, I'm seeing it because I work down there every year. So I just think that there comes a time you're going to draw the line. Nope, can't come here. Sorry.
But that's not going to solve your problem. That's just going to impact your economy really badly. I mean, your economy runs off the fact that it can attract the best and brightest from all over the world, to improve technology, to work in military, to work in science, to work in all of these different areas where America is far ahead because people want to come to America. They want to come to a democratic, free country.
Right. But what we're saying,
one that's extremely wealthy as well.
But Nerdman, we can't support. America can't support the other 6 continents. We can't.
The issue is that the wealth, the extreme wealth that America has generated, isn't trickling down to the working class. And in fact, a lot of what is making America very wealthy, the corporate structures and whatever, is because they're moving all of the jobs that would traditionally be working class to countries where they can pay the workforce nothing. And that's what's impacted the working class the most, not necessarily immigration to America, but like corporations taking jobs out of America and giving, so
I agree with that. But what
very complex.
It's very complex. But what you're not getting to the point is what we're saying is, and me, Danny, Roberto have been saying, I think JG might agree too, is that some of these people, some of the immigrants are coming, like if you're coming over here to learn schooling and you learn what you used in Canada, I have no problems with that. But I think what it's saying is you're coming over here, getting our education, right? Getting our system. And I think it used to be, I'm not sure, maybe Roberto could tell me, but I think Canada used to have one of the best educational systems.
The best and cheapest.
Right. Right. So they're coming over here, they're learning to become doctors, they're learning to become lawyers, and then they're going back to their country and using what they learned there, there. I think that's what the issue is, right? So I completely understand where it's like, oh, America, Canada too, like everything is made in Taiwan. Every fucking thing is made in Taiwan. You know what I mean? Or China or something like that, or because it's cheaper labor. So I get that. But what we're saying is a lot of them are coming over here, taking the advantages of learning our schooling system and then running off and going to their country, back to their country and taking what they learned.
But a lot of them are also staying and improving the lot of Canada and America, and I have done so for years and years and years. So it's kind of like, yeah, you've got to run that risk that, okay, somebody's going to come from a different country and use the education system and go somewhere else because
all I'm saying is it's somebody
right to.
It's another country's turn. We done it enough.
But one thing I have to ask is like, wait a second, why do people? Do you think it's justified that people hate America and hate the West? Do you think there's any justification to that? Because I'm asking everyone because I think there's a lot, and I think the resentment towards America, I don't have that resentment, but I think it's kind of warranted in some ways. It's the same with the UK. I think, we were colonialist powers. we did go into a country that wasn't, or America went into a country that wasn't, Americans now
So
went into a country that wasn't their own, killed the native population, enslaved a bunch of people, brought them there, then went on a kind of, globally, like, yeah.
we know what you think, but let them answer your question. I'll go with Roberto.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him, Roberto?
Can you throw me the question again?
I'll just say it simply. Basically, do you think there's a good reason that people resent the West in like less developed countries?
I think because
is there a good reason for it?
We're slaves to the system. That's why I think they resent the West and they don't want that ideology to go over there. Because, like when I was in Europe, it's such a laid back, easygoing, content with life concept. Where here, everybody has to have the latest and greatest. And when you lack content and respect and all the morals that keep us human, we become non-human. And a lot of people don't even notice these things. They're just disappearing right in front of our eyes.
Mm. So do you agree that people should have or you think it's warranted, the hate for America? Like countries like Afghanistan, Iran, like all these countries?
Well, honestly, I'd have to live there to say that, but from what I see, there's always an agenda with their claims to help. You're helping, but you're robbing, you're stealing, you're doing something, because obviously you're not helping everybody. The people that don't have resources aren't getting help. The ones that have resources, they're getting help, and resources are being taxed.
Got you. JG, what do you think?
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you.
A lot of times we go to other places, we push our democracy, our ideology on other groups, and other countries, and they resent us for it, right? Especially when it comes to women. Let's not forget that. A lot of times they say, hey, I don't want my woman going to the West. They come back over here, they're going to be different, right? So I think a lot of times more so that what we would call free mindset, right? That goes against the grain of more of a, I don't want to call it narrow-minded, but more of a, like you mentioned, Afghanistan, right? We can't push democracy on Afghanistan. We can't push our democracy on Pakistan. We can't push our democracy because it's going to be issues, because there are countries that have run a certain way pretty much their whole existence. And here we come claiming we're going to help. In reality, we're not. Look at African countries, right? There's a belief that every time we send people over there for aid, there's always some disease that pops up. There's always something that pops up, right? So, yes, like Malcolm said, chickens come home to roost.
Got you. Danny?
I think if you hate something, you're gonna do one or two things. You're gonna stay completely away from it, or you're gonna try and infiltrate it and kill it. I think there are more people trying to infiltrate and kill this country. And we have to do whatever we have to do to survive within humane
means.
Yeah.
But
the problem is America did it first, right? America put like dictators in power so that they could, because they knew that they could control those dictators, give them enough money, and then the resources of a whole country would be theirs. And then furthermore, went back afterwards and bombed 500,000 people to just take out that one dictator. And they've done this, a number of different times. And it's like, I understand how,
name these dictators, name these 100 dictators you talk about.
Oh, well, Saddam Hussein was one of them. They put him in power. They literally funded and put him in power.
I need the other 99.
There's a lot. There really is a lot.
Danny said he wants.
I didn't want
the number. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not doubting that at some level,
But America ain't the only one that pay these people. You
They
think
put
Russia ain't doing? You think
Pinochet.
Russia and China ain't doing the same thing? Because they're considered superpowers.
No, I'm sure they did. I'm not. I'm not. That's not my
Yeah,
contention. It's
yeah, but
just
it
that
seems like Meet America Day here.
it,
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
that we often think of things from our own kind of self-interested point of view, which I understand. Obviously, you are going to do that, but when you put it in a historical context, it's like, well, how could you expect people not to want to do terrorist attacks and all of these kind of things in America? Like, they're fighting a war out here. We think they're just like coming in, just wanting to blow up shit or whatever because they resent us for whatever reason. I don't know. They resent or are jealous of our freedoms. But actually, when you look at the history of what we've done to them and how they got there in the first place, it's like there's a little bit of responsibility on our backs as well.
But
And
what you're saying now, nerd
Mhm.
man, you could apply the same thing to blacks. For how many years we have been at the short end of some sticks? But I don't hate white people.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think about I'm gonna go kill someone. So I mean, that's the character flaw at whatever. I'm not saying America is innocent by any means, and what you're saying, they probably did to some of these people. Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, whoever you want to name.
Gaddafi,
I'm not saying
yeah,
they didn't do it,
Pinochet.
but all I'm saying is we, to a certain degree, as black men, have been under some of that. Maybe not to the extreme, but we just saw George Floyd here 2 years ago. So we are losing our lives as well, but that doesn't make us. Well, that doesn't make me. I can't speak for any other black man want to go out and kill white cops, white people, that kind of stuff. I just don't.
Yeah, because
It-
it's not going to solve anything. That's the problem with it. It's just going to escalate things. I don't think
and
that's how to resolve things. I'm just saying, like, maybe
Yeah, but I'm
as
saying
if
you
you
saying that people have a reason, a legitimate reason to hate America. I don't
yes,
necessarily think that's true because we as black men, I don't think none of us here hate all white people.
or cops. I had
no,
to
but
put
that's
that in.
Those
because
are
I
white.
know. I had to put that in you there for you, Danny, because you know how we like to bash you guys
I got you.
sometimes. But
I
I just
got you.
wanted to say, not cops either. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, and I'll
yeah,
just say this real quick because just documentaries, right? And I can't remember what it's called, but literally, and I agree that America does have to take some accountability for some of the things that is happening to them because what they would do, what happened with Iran was having a war with Russia, right? America went in there and funded Afghanistan, sorry, not Iran, Afghanistan, right? Went in there, funded them, gave them weapons, gave them everything to help them hold off the Russians, and then abandoned them, right? Abandoned the leader. What they would also do is if they had a leader that they didn't agree with, they would help the Taliban, which they did. They helped the Taliban overthrow that leader so that they could put someone in there that was more friendly with the United States. And then when they realize, oh, maybe it's not working or it's not in their best interest anymore, they abandon that country and allow Russia to go in and take over. And that's, I think, what the problem is. And I think that's why a lot of these countries don't like America, is because you're going to come in there and you're going to help us when it suits your needs. But when we need your help, you're diplomatic and don't want to help us.
And one man's name came out of that was Osama bin Laden.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Actually, Russia was helping Afghanistan against the U.S. backed rebels. It was Russia, Afghanistan versus U.S. military. Um, I don't know about that one. Maybe later on, but I know when I'm talking about, like, there's a documentary. You can actually go and watch the documentary.
I'm not.
So yeah, go ahead.
I'm not doubting what y'all saying at all. I'm just saying we ain't the only bullies in the playground.
No,
Oh yeah,
100%. And
no, I
I'll say
didn't say
that.
that. I mean, UK. I
Canada,
mean,
UK, Canada, we all have that, right? The Queen, like, come on now, you know what I mean? Like, you're right. America is, and I don't think that it's just America that these countries hate it. They hate the UK too. Some of them hate Canada as well. I mean, we've had bomb threats recently in the past couple of years. I don't know if you remember, Roberto, but there were like bomb threats going on right now.
In heaven?
Even
I can't believe it.
oh yeah, 100%. Because it's because Americans come over here and fuck it up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
I didn't think nothing go wrong in heaven.
No, they even attacking the Jews now. Right? Like they're literally attacking Jews now over here. Like synagogues are getting bombed over here in Canada, right? Because of the stuff that's going on with Israel and Palestine, right?
I can just
So
tell you, whether you're religious or not, the Bible talks about messing with God's people. I would not want to be on the end of that raft. That's all I'm going to say on that.
and again, like and I've asked you about this before too, but we're gonna say it again. Like in the Bible, the things that are happening now are the starts of the end of the world. Am I not correct with that, Danny?
There are some things that match up with it.
I
Yeah.
got you. Like threats of war, right? That's one of them. With
The United
crazy
States
threats of
falling.
yours. Yeah, yep. And the LGBT community as well. That's all in the Bible, and those things are what they say is the beginning of the end.
And people don't.
The LGBT community.
I'm going to
Yes,
say
Where does it
this.
say that in the Bible?
I don't know about the
Mm-hmm.
LGBT community, but all I can say is I know it is biblical that God destroyed the two sister cities, and it was mainly because of that particular lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen again, but I can tell you in Scripture it says it's an abomination and that God does not like it. I can tell you the Scripture that what that's in. Now, what
Is
did
it
it
in
say
the
about all
Old
of
Testament?
Huh?
Is it in the Old Testament or New Testament?
It's in both. I'll give you the Scripture. Hold on 1 minute.
And Andrea said, yeah, there will be wars and rumors of wars. 100% there will be. But I think at the end of the day, right now, we are closest to war, a war, like a real world war, than we've ever been in my lifetime. And
Absolutely.
that scares the shit out of me, man. It really does. 'Cause I ain't ready to go.
I don't think Canada or they'll get to Canada, to be honest.
Yes, it will. What do you think? Canada's America's puppet. America goes to work, Canada follows right behind them, right, Roberto?
That's right.
I
Like
don't know.
America
There
protects
are two
Canada.
rusted boats.
Yeah. America, we have no
I,
military.
I think it's going to affect you probably economically, but I don't know about the actual, like there's going to be warfare coming to the shores of America.
No.
Much more likely to be stuck within the Middle East and with,
Right.
Russia or this kind of area.
No, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, if America goes to war, Canada's following right behind them. You understand? That's how it's always been. Whenever there was something going on, Canada will send troops. Canada will aid with America. The Gulf War, Canada had in like sent troops over there to help America. You know what I mean?
Really,
That's not our shit.
I thought they didn't go for that actually.
No, they did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they did. One of my friends, well, my friend who passed away when he was a kid, he was like 18, he passed away, but his brother was in the war. He got injured.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
didn't know.
Yeah. They sent troops over
I
there.
thought it was like France. They just
No, Canada was there too.
Go.
When there's not been war. Oh, sorry, no, that one. Oh, hold on. When has there not been wars or rumors of wars? No, I agree with you on that one. We are less than 90 seconds to doomsdays, according to official doomsday clock. Once World War III starts and Luke's not. Yes, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick. Is that the verse, Danny? You popped there?
Yeah, that's one of them. That's
Okay.
New Testament.
You wanna read it before we go to bed? Before we close it out?
Let me pull it up.
I was going to say, I know the Quran also mentions that the hour casts a shadow over Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
They equating that big tower that's kind of over here. So it's biblical, whether it's in the Bible or the Quran. It's the end times are here.
Yeah. It was what is the actual quote? I think it has something to do with towers that block
Yeah,
out the
let me
sun or
see.
something like that, or something like that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, JG.
Yeah.
You ready
I
for
know.
it, Nzo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go
Do
for
you
it.
not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither the immoral, nor idolaters, or adulterers, or sexual perverts. It goes into further saying that infamously, that means men adopting behaviors that are biblically associated with women. That's from
Gotcha.
the New Testament. Then the Old
That's the New
Testament
Testament.
said something about I'm paraphrasing. That was the New Testament. Old Testament pretty much said about men dressing like women and a man won't lay down with another man. But I can
Mm.
see, like I just said,
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't try to show the Bible on anybody. But if
yeah,
you are a believer and a Christian, then some of these things
yeah,
that
yeah.
we're seeing now, seen
Mhm.
back then, and if you believe in the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of that. It was so bad that Lot gave his two daughters so they wouldn't mess with two other men. Now, let that
Mm.
sink in. Your two daughters is in the house, and you offer them up because two strangers come in the house, but the men say, "We don't want the women. We want those two men."
mm,
That's great.
But
That's crazy to me.
my issue is just very quickly. One, Jesus basically says, "Love all sinners," and that we are all sinners. We're all born in sin, and so I don't know why the sin of homosexuality is any more kind of
It's not. I just read you.
divisive or more prevalent in the minds of Christians than like murder or theft or any other
No.
sin. And then the second thing is that I think the problem nowadays, and I don't mean this in a rude way, is like religion is actually part of the problem in the sense of we can't have reasonable discussions um, about the world when somebody thinks they have a holy right to a specific land. And I'm talking both on the Muslim and
Christian.
Jewish side, and even Christian. Once you have that kind of belief, it's really hard to have any kind of real conversation about a diplomatic conversation or solution um, to a military issue. I just think it's yeah. So I know it doesn't it's not it's not going into what you're saying. I'm just saying that the religion is something we have to look into in terms of we can be religious, but don't let that impact. I don't know how to say it. It's too
Well,
much of
let
a
Danny answer your
anyway.
question though. The first
Anyway.
part, anyways.
I think
Go
you
ahead,
have to
Danny.
let the same way we listen to man's law. Like I know for a fact, I'm not going to go steal something. I'm not going to go kill somebody because I'm going to go to jail or prison. The same thing applies religiously. If you do certain things that violate God's laws, if you're a believer and you don't repent and get yourself straight before you die, the consequence is hell. Now, I ain't say you got to believe that. I ain't say you got to like that. I ain't say you got to agree with that. I'm just saying if you are a believer, and I am a believer, there are certain consequences that you're going to face. Right now, all we can see is the physical world. You know, and we all, including myself, there are times I got to fight with sin. I also know, man, big butt. I tell you, I got to fight that. When he sent me those pictures, I'd be like, "Oh, I rebuke you, Anzo. Stop sending me that." I got to fight with that. And there was a time when I succumbed to that, but that's just my belief. Like I said, I can only speak for Danny. But some people like to rationalize and hypothesize and try to. I just don't believe that we are more intelligent than God. God is said to be omnipotent. He knows everything. He sees everything. So if you believe in that, how in the world can you formulate a reasonable, intelligent argument that we would know more or can out reason or outsmart somebody that is omnipotent and knows everything? That's just my belief. I can't say nobody else. If you don't believe it, and I
Mm.
don't get in arguments with people, I just say, hey, let's agree to disagree. Because I'm gonna believe what I believe, they can believe what they believe. So I don't get in
Absolutely.
argument or mad about it. If you don't believe it, that's you.
Absolutely. I know, Nirma, I know you're chomping at the mouth to say something,
No,
but
no,
we're
no,
gonna
no.
close.
I'm not. I'm done. I'm done.
We're gonna close up soon, and I'm gonna let Roberto and JG say the last things. But I just want to say, Donnie, you know I tease you when I send those, right? Because
Oh
here's
yeah,
the
no.
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
There's no animosity at all. I'll be like, fine.
Because here's the thing, right? Danny was going on and he told me, and I was like, okay, I respected that, no problem. And before, we used to be sending them back and forth,
All
right?
the
Like
time, boy.
constantly, every day, picture this, picture that. So one day, Danny sent me one, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're not supposed to be looking at this anymore." And then he
Right.
was like, "Oh, I just asked for forgiveness, right?" So every time I see when I send it, because I just want to play with Danny, and the
Man,
last
it's
one I
over.
send, I was like, "Danny, ask for forgiveness because it's
Yeah, the one you
coming."
said about which one is the better one. Oh my
Yeah.
Lord. What is this sucker sending me this mess for? Hey, I cut off Little Fit Devil. I don't even watch that no more.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
then you didn't see the last one she had,
I
but
can't, bro.
boy. It's
Mm-mm.
funny because I watched the video, right? And it's funny, Danny, because I don't know if you know this, but after you recently, like a month ago, Chris started. Chris sent me one, and I was like, "What? Chris is sending me one?"
Man,
So I started
Little Fit Devil ain't no joke.
facts.
I don't even tempt myself with that, bro.
So I ended up sending Chris one back and forth, But then I seen the booty twerking one, and I said, "No, I said I got to get Danny with this one."
Hey,
And I wanted JG to see it too, and JG never really. Oh no, JG responded to them,
Yeah.
but
man,
I
that
was
was
like, no, I had to get Danny.
that was tough. Whew.
Roberto, you watched that one?
The twerking one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was one on that was light skin.
Yeah.
I love the light skin
It was
and
plenty of nice ones.
and the long hair. I'm like, oh my Lord, it's gonna be a
I
rough night tonight.
I
Boy.
I swear to God, when I sent it, I was fucking dying. I was laughing so hard because I knew the rebuke was coming, and I was just cracking. I'm like, I'm gonna send this one. You know what I mean? That was the devil in me, bro.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes, man, I'll take a peek. God, Lord, have mercy. Please take it away.
Hey man, I showed these guys one on YouTube the other day, and it was a like transparent lingerie thing.
Oh my Lord.
Mm.
Wow.
I can't even watch Monster Ball no more. I used to be my most favorite
Make me
clip to
feel
watch.
good. Make me feel good.
I'm like, man.
That's the only scene I watch. Other than that, I don't care about the
Do
movie.
you know how many times I have fantasized I was Billy Bob Thornton? Do you know?
Man, you ain't the only one.
Yeah, I think we've all done that.
Man.
You feel good. Make me
Feel
feel good.
good.
No.
Wor- Worst part about it,
Okay.
I seen a picture of her like about a month ago, and I was like, damn, she still look good,
Mhm.
boy.
Yeah, Holly Berry, fine boy.
She still look good. And Maya,
Oh yeah, Maya.
ooh,
Don't.
Maya got a grown woman body now. She didn't have that about
facts,
15 years ago. Now she got the grown woman body.
Who's
facts,
Maya?
facts.
Who is my
And this,
You never heard of Maya? Oh my Lord.
man? What is wrong with you?
Roberta, you know who Maya is.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying?
Remember that song, Nerd Man? My love is like, whoa.
No.
Wow.
My love is like,
Man,
whoa.
I love that video, boy.
I'll tell you this though
Those
before we
big
go.
innocent eyes.
Oh yeah, Roberto. But I'll tell you this though. Before she had the baby, right? Ashanti was looking
Mhm.
damn fine,
Mhm.
bro. Oh my god, I couldn't believe how fine Ashanti was looking. She was in these bathing suit things, and I'm just like, God damn. When her and Nelly got back together, I was like, you lucky motherfucker.
Here you go.
But let-
Show this on, though.
yes, sir.
Let Nerd Man see it.
Yeah.
You don't recognize her?
Kind of. Yeah, no, I kind of, but I can't remember any of her
I
songs or
tell you
anything like
what, boy. The year she was on Dancing with the Stars, I ain't missing.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
me
that.
too.
You didn't
Me
miss
too.
that episode.
Me too. And I was so pissed that she didn't win because she was the best one on that show.
Yeah.
And didn't they give it to it was
God.
either the Carlton guy or it was Emmett Smith. One of those
No, it wasn't
one of
But
those
Carlton.
two.
Carlton was kind
It
of
had to
good,
be Emmett
though,
Smith
bro.
because Emmett Smith won that one.
I saw
Yeah.
Carlton dancing. He was kind of good.
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
God.
Any last thoughts from you guys before we close it up? JG and Roberto?
The party has just begun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the. I'm just looking forward to the next week. I want to see
Late
what
night TV is gonna be amazing.
Facts.
What he say?
I
Huh?
said
late night TV is going to be amazing.
What's going to be amazing? I'm missing.
late night TV.
Oh, what you talking about?
They got jokes for days when Trump was president, man.
Oh, you talking about
Jokes for days. When
Oh,
when Biden got elected, late night TV got boring, man.
boy, you know Saturday Night Live gonna be fire.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, man, we're back.
I only wish they let old boy do it because he got the best Trump, but he in trouble. I don't think he'll
Who?
show no more.
Which
Alec
which
Baldwin.
one?
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Alec Baldwin used to kill Trump, boy.
Facts. Yeah, I'm right there with you there, Roberto. Late night TV, Jimmy Kimmel, all of these guys. It's gonna be a Trump fest. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm
let's
curious what Kimmel's going to say, bro, because he's been after Trump for months.
Yeah,
Months.
he
Been
be
going
roasting
at
him too, boy. He be roasting him.
Facts. No, okay. I just gotta ask this question one, and then we'll get quick answers. Do you guys think that because I'm hearing this is the narrative? Do you think that the reason why Kamala lost is because of all the celebrity endorsements?
I don't think so. I don't think she was personable. I don't think she. I think she only touched one demographic. That's the black female. There are some mad black female in
Yeah,
America now, buddy.
yeah.
So I don't think
Thank you.
she got the attention of the black male. Definitely not the white
I
male.
know.
So that's what I think hurt her. Black female.
They kept emphasizing how the black male voted for Trump this election.
Yeah.
There's
They
a lot.
did.
There's a lot that voted.
What do you think, Roberto? You think the celebrity cameos and stuff hurt her?
I didn't even know about it. Like I said, Anzo, I wasn't really following it because I know it's all a farce.
For real. I got you. JG?
I think it played a role for a certain percentage. You know, when you're supposed to be up there talking about policies and what you want to do and giving
You
a
got Megan.
slogan like Danny said. Oh, well, don't get me wrong, I liked it, but I'm just saying, as far as you being president, it was almost like, okay, I'm gonna do a song and dance for you, but I'm gonna go over here and actually talk the real stuff that I need to talk about. So I think that was part of it. I think her not differentiating herself between her and Biden, separating herself, I think that hurt her. And I don't think she did enough to sway the undecided voters, especially the Arab American community. Oh, they were all against her. So yeah.
And JJ, you know what hurt her too? Really quick.
Yeah.
The View.
The
View is so polarizing now. And
Mhm.
man, there's one lady in there. You know, Whoopi and the white comedian Joy Behar, they been up, but they got this black lady in there. She used to be a lawyer. I can't think her name.
I know you're talking about the fat one.
No, she's a light-skinned lady. I think she used to be like a attorney or something.
Okay.
And man, she goes after men hard. Anybody that, because she was what's his rapper? He's a big political activist now. I can't think his name.
Piles?
No, Run the Jewels guy. What's his name?
I can't think, but man,
I know you're talking from Atlanta.
He was going. She was going after him so hard, man. He calmed her down. I didn't see her try to go after Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson got to calm her down. I didn't see her get after Martin McConaughey. She goes after men hard, and she was champion. I think she went to Morgan Freeman too, but she championed Kamala, and I think men just like, nah. I know I stopped watching The View because they are very,
men hating and everything,
Democratic to the bone.
I know one more thing. I was very disappointed in her. Of course, everyone can have their opinions on it. Last night when she didn't have to concede, but all the supporters out there supporting her the whole night. You send your little minion out there to tell everybody she's not coming out to speak tonight.
Yep,
I was really disappointed in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't have to concede, but say, hey, still keep hope. We still got a lot of votes out there. We're not conceding. We're still fighting. Then go do what you got to do. But the fact you sent somebody else to do it for you, I'm sorry. No.
I got you. Nerdman, do you think the celebrities and had a problem with it? Was an issue?
I think for for strengthening the resolve of Trump supporters to really go out and vote, right? Like people who were already like pro-Trump, all the celebrity stuff probably like drove
Turn
their
them off.
resentment even further. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're calling us idiots, you're calling us this, that, and the other. You know, so I think in that sense, yeah, it did hurt her. But honestly, her performance was okay. I think she did a lot of the typical politics bullshit, which hurt her as well. But again, like most politicians would have done that. So I don't necessarily like. I just think it's the times we live in. It's slid towards that way, and there's a lot of different things responsible for that.
And
So
I'll
I
say
don't know
this
what people have done.
before I close it up, and this is my final thought, and I said at the beginning, I'll say it again. I think America did not want to have a woman, much less a black woman, as a president, and they would have rather had Donald Trump in there, a convicted felon, rapist, or whatever you want to call him, rather than have a black woman as president. And I'm with Roberto. I would have voted for a box of Kleenex before I ever voted for Donald
That's
Trump.
right, brother. That's right.
But with that being,
I don't think America did want a woman to be the president. I think the wrong black lady was. I just think if Michelle Obama would have run,
I agree.
I think she would have won it because she is
Really?
just more.
I do. I agree.
Michelle, she knows how. She's more personable. She's more believable. Speaks more intelligently and more. And she verbalizes well. When she did her speech endorsing Kamala, I watched it the whole time. I was like, she would have definitely got my vote.
you know what? I think I might agree with that. I think I might agree that she would have won. So I guess you could say, but because it didn't happen, that's why I'm sticking to this one. You know what I mean? When it happens, then because we always used to say there would never be a black president, and we had one. Right now, we can't say that anymore. So I'm gonna stick with that for now. But if she ever decides to run and wins, then I'll come back and eat those words.
Because I think that the reason Obama won it because he was charismatic. He is intelligent. He spoke. To me, I believed him, and I was a little biased. I said, "Man, he's a black president. I'm going to vote for him." But I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to and before I saw what he did with some of his policies, I didn't know what his policy was. The only reason I voted for Obama both times because he was a brother, articulate, smooth. He sounded like he had some sense. But I just didn't get that vibe from Kamala. I'm sorry, butcher her name, Miss Harris. Yeah. To me, she didn't sound very intelligent.
I got you.
Again, though, last thing, I think part of the reason because she's clearly an intelligent person, but part of the reason was she's trying to play too many sides. She's trying to appease the left. She's trying to appease like these swing voters who, believe in some of the stuff Trump says. She's trying to appease, she was trying to appease so many sides, and it's hard to like talk coherently when you've got mutually contradicting sides that you're trying to appeal to.
I agree but she more or less is like, let me use the correct analogy. Dak Prescott is the head Dallas quarterback, but then when he got hurt, I can't think of it in the backup quarterback. He stepped right in and he scored. So you got to be prepared on any team, a backup. Just like, say, for instance, Fields was the starter for Steelers, and then Russell stepped in. So as a vice president, you got to be prepared. Yeah, they said she only had 3 or 4 months to prep for this, but she knew way before 3 or 4 months that Biden was on the decline. So she should have been prepping ever since then. That's all I'm saying. She could have been better prepared.
I think Israel really hurt them as well, honestly.
Completely understandable. Guys, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it. It was a great conversation tonight. I mean, it was really good, right? And hopefully, all the fear that I'm going to say me personally that I have and been talking about, I hope it's all not true. Right. I hope at the end of the day, it's just fear mongering or whatever you want to call it. And I'd be okay to say that. But at the end of the day, I just fear for certain things. But with that being said, JG, take us home, brother.
JG Shaolin Terrific, the undefeated, undisputed final boss of the 36 Champions of Shaolin. Wire! Thank you, thank you everyone for tuning in live Wednesday night for this fire stream on the O.O.C with the host Nzo, aka the Abbot, and the Osiris of the shit, the Spliff King, and the Professor of Gunja, alongside the co-host Roberto, aka Mr. 100, aka No Trouble Did Anything Gonna Be Irie. No woman, no cry. And coming in, the amazing, the outstanding, the charismatic, always man of the hour. Doctors say he the illest because he suffers from that realness. Danny, if you smell what Danny's cooking. And I guess I'll present this bald-headed, narcissistic, jerk, harassing, granny parenting thief, mausoleum rating for old deceased women's underwear, Trump-loving, black, bald-head, nerd man guy out here. Good Lord.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming in here and chilling with us today. We'll be back next week with another one. I got my From Watch party this Saturday, so make sure to check that out. Those From videos are doing really good. So
Yeah,
thank you very much.
You do it twice a week.
Thank you. That was my idea. So yeah. Good.
It was not. What do you say, Danny?
It was.
You do 2 a week, don't you?
I do one on Saturday and I do one on Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we do the watch party midnight on Saturday, and then we do the one on Tuesday. And there's only 3 episodes left to the season, but we're gonna put a whole show together when the season's done. So yeah, man, people are enjoying it. People coming in, watching it, and had me on there for 4 hours last night. Danny, I don't remember the last time.
4 hours. Good Lord, yeah, that must have been fire.
4 hours last night, bro.
Ain't no way.
And that's what I'm saying. I haven't done it in a long time. And the streams started off an hour, then the next one was an hour and a half, then the next one was 2 hours, then it was 3 hours, and then it went. I think it was like 4:45 when I closed off that stream, bro.
4:45 a.m. And what time you go to work?
No, 4 hours and 45 minutes.
I thought you said you still at 4:45.
Oh no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that anymore.
Good and crazy.
No, I can't do that anymore. Thank you guys for coming in. Much appreciated. Check out everybody on the panel as well. Mr. Road to Wisdom, amazing channel. JG doesn't have a channel, but he's always there on Superwise channel doing that crappy ass watch party.
Prime time.
And Roberto will just always be here and square one, giving you the realness, especially when it comes to the football stuff.
You know?
And then we got the Nerd Man. As much as I can't stand this little effort, go check out Hot Takes Tuesdays. He's a DC lover, so all you DC fans that love DC, you'll love Nerd Man, but we already know Marvel where it is, and there's not that many. Peace, love, and hair grease. See you on the next one.
Peace.
Don't